You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the Artistic Director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello, welcome back to Unstoppable Actors. If you are a regular listener and if you are brand new, thank you so much for stumbling across us, however you have, and tuning in. I am so excited to have you here. We've got an incredible episode today for you, and I'm going to be deep diving into an overlooked method acting exercise that will allow you to add more layers to the character. And for the stage of your career that you're at right now, adding layers to the character is vital for your career to keep advancing, for you to keep getting more opportunities and getting your foot in more doors. I'm Louise, and I have been coaching actors of all levels, but predominantly early career actors, for 14 and a half years. And I love method acting because it absolutely transformed my own career, my connection to characters, and my confidence. And it will do the same for you. And when you choose to use my guidance, you will find yourself adding more layers to your characters, feeling more confident than ever before, getting better feedback from auditions and productions, and you'll find yourself getting more auditions. And I'd love to show you how I do this. So I'm inviting you to come and observe one of our method acting classes this coming Wednesday. So you can observe a class within the 10-week method acting module to see the foundational exercises that our students go through every single class, which sharpens their focus, sharpens their character building skills, sharpens their imagination, and gives them more presence so they stand out. And it is exactly why they stick in casting directors' minds and why they're able to get cast in such incredible productions such as Netflix, TV soaps, Amazon Prime films, even Hollywood, so early on in their career. And I'd love to show you what I'm doing with them so you can see it for yourself and take some ideas away for your own career. So if you'd like to come and observe that class, all you need to do is go to this link, bit.ly/let me in Louise, and my name is spelled Louise, or you can simply just click the link that I've left for you underneath the episode. So that class is taking place on Wednesday the 19th of March, 6 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. UK time, but you can be from around the world. In fact, my students in that class are from America, Europe, the UK. I would love to see you there and show you how I'm coaching my actors and why it's working and getting their careers off the ground quicker. I want to start this episode with a quick story about an audition I did when I was 17. I'd got through to the recalls and it was a full day of auditions, and part of the audition was choosing an animal and using that animal to inform character choices. I'm pretty sure most of you who have listened to this podcast for a long time will know that I am cat mad. I've been obsessed with cats since I was 7 years old, and I've had them as pets since I was 7 years old. So of course I was going to choose a cat. But what I did was so generic. I actually cringe looking back at it now, like reflecting on this audition. I just did the typical generic version of a cat, which was very straight, very upright, very nonchalant. And yes, cats can be like that. But as I've said, I've had cats since I was 7 years old. I've had 4 cats as pets in my lifetime, and no 2 cats are the same. They're not all tall and upright and regal and nonchalant and not wanting attention and not wanting affection. They're not all like that. cats are different, just like characters are. So if I'd have done that as my audition and that was the standalone thing, I never would have been offered a place because it was so generic. And this is what I love about method acting. Method acting is here to move you towards unique performances that get you to stand out and advance your career. It stops you being generic like my cat when I was 17 and auditioning. I didn't know better. I only knew what I knew. But this is why method acting has absolutely changed my career for the better and changed me as an actor as well. And it will do for you. All directors want that actor in their production who's got the edge. But what most actors do is go for generic, like I did, and that makes them blend in and get lost amongst a sea of actors, and it just takes far longer to get your foot indoors. So here's a quick story about an actor who's no longer alive, but he's got a reputation for being the actor that changed the face of screen acting, and that's Marlon Brando. And Marlon Brando was one of the early method actors who came on the scenes. And in his training, him and his fellow acting students were asked to play chickens in their acting class. And I have told this story before on this podcast, but for those of you that are new, it's such a good story and it's a good refresher for those of you that know it. So what he did is he didn't do what everyone else did. Everyone else was running around the acting class, clucking away, flapping the wings, being generic. A bit like my generic cat. But what Marlon Brando did instead is he sat there and he moulded his body to make it look like he was roosting. And when his acting coach ended the exercise, she asked him, "What were you doing?" And he said, "Well, I've observed chickens and they roost. And that is what I was doing." And he was very intentional with it and very committed to it. And this is what made him unique as an actor. It's what made him watchable and his acting authentic. He was doing something different to what everyone else did. It wasn't hammy. It was the truth of a chicken. And so this overlooked exercise that will allow you to add more layers to your character is the animal exercise. And when you use the animal exercise correctly, it gives you advantage over other actors. A couple of actors who have used it, there's definitely way more than this. This is absolutely not an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination. But actors in the public eye who've used this exercise are Jim Carrey. So Jim Carrey used this for his role in Ace Ventura. He used the animal exercise and he drew upon the inspiration of a bird to create his character. Marlon Brando, I've already mentioned him. Some of you will have heard of him, some of you won't have. If you haven't heard of him, he played Vito Corleone in The Godfather and he used animal exercise for that. And he chose to draw upon the inspiration of a bulldog for that character. So as an artist, we have to recognise that we really do not want all of our creations to be the same. So when you use the animal exercise, it allows you to bring new ideas to the character and do something different to what other actors would do. So let me explain how we use the animal exercise then. So the best way to start using it is to match an aspect of the personality of the character or something about the character to an animal. So let me give you an example. Tennessee Williams' stage play, A Streetcar Named Desire, gives very detailed descriptions of the characters, and the character Blanche is described as being fragile like a moth. And as you read the play, you see she covers up her fragility with beauty, fancy dresses, nice perfumes, makeup, this exterior that would make her look like she's not fragile, but under this exterior is a broken woman who doesn't feel safe and is fully in survival mode and is fully fragile. So if I was to play Blanche, or you were to play Blanche, let's just say for the example, and we were to use the moth as the inspiration for creating this character, it doesn't mean we try and create a character who's got wings and who becomes very, very small physically, although you could draw upon that could be part of her vulnerability and fragility. But what it means is I take the essence of the moth and I ascribe it to Blanche physically. So I'd observe the moth for an extended period. And this is the work that I do away from the rehearsals. It's the physical preparation. I don't do this in rehearsals. I take the work I've done to the rehearsals in the sense that it's going to give me inspiration for how I create it physically, and I bring that part to the rehearsal. But as I'm observing, I get very familiar with all the nuances of the moth's physicality. And then I start to mould my body to adapt itself in a moth-like way, which of course is going to be very challenging as a human having a completely different anatomy. But I do it nonetheless, and I commit to it because it allows me to find something different and think differently about the character and how they present themselves physically. And then over a period of time, I start humanising it, and I am left with a character that walks, talks, and behaves differently to me as the actor and differently to all the other characters I've played. And it stops me playing all of my characters the same and generic. Because what most actors will do, and I've seen this in 14 and a half years of coaching actors, is they'll take the same dominant, obvious parts of the character and they'll play that. Which, if you put yourself in an audition scenario, it means you are all the actors auditioning for the same role, likely playing the character very similar. And there's no edge, which means you blend in. And at this stage of your career, you cannot afford to be blending in. Now, although Tennessee Williams describes Blanche as moth-like, I don't have to use that. I've got choice as an actress. I can choose a different animal that appears fragile, maybe a particular species of bird, maybe a baby giraffe, maybe something completely different. The possibilities are endless, absolutely endless. And whilst I can't coach you through this on a podcast episode because it is a physical exercise, I do hope that what I've shared with you has helped you think differently about how you're going to approach your future characters that you play. Because when you think differently and you draw upon method acting, you bring something unique to characters that makes you stick in the minds of the casting directors. I've already said this. It's so important that you're doing this so early on in your career. And if you want to come and observe a class to see how it all works, then hit the link underneath the episode or go to bit.ly/LetMeInLouise and you'll be able to come and observe Wednesday the 19th of March as 10-week method acting assessment class, which is just going to be absolutely fascinating to see. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Hope you're feeling inspired. You've got lots more new ideas and you're thinking differently about your characters. And I'll see you soon. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.